Free cash from the state is going unclaimed. Here's a hard-to-understand statistic. More than 600,000 Californians with low to moderate incomes haven't touched the free cash the state gave them during the pandemic. They haven't spent it or stashed it away for a rainy day. Instead, they've left the money, $200 to $1,050, depending on their income level and tax filing status, sitting on unactivated prepaid debit cards where it doesn't even earn interest. The state called the handout a Middle-Class Tax Refund. Although, truth be told, it wasn't a refund, it was a grant from the state's erstwhile budget surplus, ostensibly to offset the high price of gasoline and other goods. If you filed your 2020 state tax return on time, you qualified for a grant as long as your income was no more than $250,000 for individuals or $500,000 for couples or heads of households. The Franchise Tax Board made most of the grants between October 2022 and February 2023, ultimately awarding $9.22 billion to 16.8 million California taxpayers. According to the tax board, the state sent the money straight into the bank accounts of 7.2 million households that had signed up for direct deposit, paying an average of $555. The remaining 9.6 million households were supposed to receive their money through prepaid debit cards, collecting an AVG of $542 per household. Hundreds of millions of dollars are held by the state's contractor, Money Network, and they benefit no one in California. The FTB said an unspecified number of cards were pending updated address information, meaning they couldn't find the intended recipient. Some cards also went unspent because the recipients didn't trust Money Network, whose requests for personal information are perceived as intrusive by some Californians. You may wonder whether you are one of those taxpayers still waiting for a card in the mail. If you filed a 2020 California tax return on time, earned less than the income limits for the Middle-Class Tax Refund that year, if you have not given your banking info to the FTB, you sent money to the FTB or received refunds from it via checks, not electronically, and you're still a California resident, then you would appear to be eligible for a grant. You might think that the tax board would have a list of people still missing their prepaid cards, so you could ask whether you're on it. You would be mistaken. Instead, the FTB offers two potential courses of action. If you have not received your debit card and believe that you are eligible, make sure that your address is up to date with FTB, the board says on its website. Visit our Help with the Middle-Class Tax Refund page for instructions to update your address. Alternatively, you can call Money Network at 800-240-0223. To find out whether a card was issued to you, you'll need to navigate through a series of automated prompts, then enter the last 6 digits of the Social Security number used on your 2020 tax return, followed by your zip code, to see whether Money Network has an account that matches. If not, you weren't issued a middle-class tax refund on a prepaid card. You can then find out whether a card was ever sent to your address and, if necessary, request a new one. However, you may also find out that your card was issued and all the funds have been spent. Numerous reports have been of cards being hacked and accounts being drained by thieves who use physical or electronic tools to grab card numbers, PIN codes, and other identifying information. Last year, an FTB audit said Money Network reported a fraud rate of 1% of the amount issued on the cards at the time, or 51.4 million. The FTB and Money Network say that if you suspect your card was used without your authorization, you should call the company at 800-240-0223 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time, Monday through Friday. To get to your destination, you'll need to enter the number on your prepaid card and navigate a series of automated scripts and responses. To avoid hackers and thieves accessing your prepaid card, transfer the balance to your bank account if you have one. You can do so at no charge through mectopayment.com via the Money Network mobile phone app or by calling 800-240-0223. Money Network lays out the steps on its frequently asked questions page. Alternatively, you can sign up for transaction alerts on the MoneyNet mobile app. That way, you can find out quickly if someone uses your card without your permission. You can use the app to lock the card to prevent any money from being withdrawn if you suspect a problem or if you know you won't be using it for a while.